Hello friends, I'm very excited to be reporting from the bathroom because today is the day that the work commences. Our plumber has just popped around and he's taken some measurements that he needs to get everything under the floorboards ready for sinks, toilets, baths and radiators. On this side of the room as well, he's going to be boxing in the two ends of the wall. The way our toilet system is set up, the waste pipes are on the inside of the house rather than the outside. So we have to keep this contraption as it is in terms of the height of it, and the way that it sticks out from the wall means that the only nicest way to make it look good will be to box it in. The wall end to end is 2 meters. We're going to have boxing in, a bath which is 1700ml, and then we're going to be left with a little gap at the end, maybe about 15 or 10 centimeters. So we're going to box that in as well, kind of create like a symmetrical situation going on, and we're actually going to use that to build niches inside, little shelves where we can put some conditioners and soaps and stuff. I don't know how much filming I'm going to be able to do with our plumber / Tyler, so I don't want to, force the camera in his face. So what I might try and do is do little check-ins with you every so often when there's been a little bit more progress made and explain things to you. So if you remember, we would have had the toilet sticking out around here and some of the pipes for the sink sticking out here. And then we had this big tube, which you can see there. That is going to go back in. He's removed it just for now. So these pipes run off all the way over here. This is where the new sink's going to be sat against this wall. One pipe going off this way. This is going to be the inlet for the toilet. The pipes over here, which are for the shower. And he also managed to change the direction and bring the radiator pipes all the way under here as well. And he's actually changed them from the tiny, teeny, thin ones that come at this house for some reason to like a more standard one that people use these days. He's now gone home. Look at all of his tools as well. This is how I know that I just wasn't fully equipped for this job. In terms of the wall, that gave us loads of trouble. He's actually just going to plasterboard over it. We went through some different options. We settled on just plasterboarding it. We're going to lose a couple of centimetres space, but it is really no skin off our nose compared to knocking through into a different room that I've already decorated before. Problem is, and I don't know if you'll be able to see what I mean immediately, but where our trades guy has boxed in, I didn't want him to bring it all the way up to the window. So now that kind of creates this real off balance around the window. And I thought, okay, it's not the end of the world. He's already put it all up. A bit of a miscommunication, because when I was speaking to Rob yesterday, he mentioned that the guy had mentioned he thought the bathtub was 800ml. And I have told him that it's 700, but unfortunately we've crossed wires and we're about 10 centimetres out, which is why he's probably done this panel so wide to accommodate the 800ml bath. But really, I wanted it in about 10 centimetres. The reason why I think that's going to make such a difference is just to make this window seem a little bit more symmetrical in the rooms. At the minute, it feels like, I don't know, that bit feels off to me. But also on my initial inspiration, we're going to have the whole of the wet area tiled, of course. And then this is where the shower screen is going to be. Here, the shower is going to live here. And then we were going to bring the tile across and around, and it was going to have a natural finish here. But this part of this wall would have been 10 centimetres back, if you can imagine that. Now the problem that we have is there's not going to be a natural end to the tile. So I don't know how we would cap that off with the window. I don't want a tile around the window because that wasn't on the initial plan. I haven't ordered enough tiles, and we weren't planning the whole bathroom either. So I don't know if you can see what I mean, but I don't love the fact that the box panel touches the window like that. It would make sense if something did it on this side as well and it would match, but I think it just shortens the room a lot. So remember that this wall was joined onto the window wall, and I was trying to explain that I didn't love that it went flush against. Well, our plumber came back and he moved everything, and he's actually been able to now install like the thermostat and stuff like that. So now the tile, when it comes across, it will be able to go there against the wall. So he does need to fill that in today, and I think he's going to tank everything, which is waterproofing the area. Jobs for me, I need to go to the shops and buy panelling, because I need to panel everywhere that I'm going to do panelling, and I need to do it before he puts the radiator on the wall, the sink in place and stuff, because it'll just be so much easier to put big sheets in place rather than trying to cut around them. In case you're wondering, this is the waterproofing kit. This is the one that I used in our old house in Newcastle when I did the bathroom, and he's requested this one as well, so it's clearly the good stuff. It's by this brand, Makeover. Good morning, you guys. I am so excited to give you an update for the bathroom. So last night, the tiler came and look what he's done. We have got a dry laid floor. Look at that floor. I'm obsessed with this. Incredible. And you can kind of see a peek around the corner where the bathtub is going to be. I'm so excited. So he dry laid everything yesterday because of the shape of the tile that I wanted. So they're obviously squares in this checkerboard style, but I didn't want it like square on to the entry of the doorway. So I mentioned I would like them to be laid diagonally. How perfect is this? The width of this door takes 1.5 tile each way. So we literally had like no waste. This is incredible. I don't think this was a fluke. This wasn't planned, although I would like to say it was such a fluke, but it meant that we've not had barely any waste off of the tiles. These are the panel boards that we're going to be using. You've seen them plenty of times. I am using the full length 1.8 meters because I want a bit of a different design. I want it to go quite high. You won't have spotted that, but that's a broken tile. And that's my fault because I am very impatient. He said, don't go in there. The tiles, they haven't been laid. They're going to be very soft. They will just break. And I was like, yeah, no problem. I don't know what possessed me. I think I just wanted to see the other side of the room because I can't get in to see it. And I had a massive crack and I thought, what have I done? Looked down, cracked one of the tiles. Luckily enough, we have one spare tile. But yeah, so take it from me, little tip. If you're dry laying tiles, especially if they're marble, don't slap them. I'm straight to it outside in the garden and I need to cut the boards for around the window. I thought I'd show you my little process because I know things like this can be difficult, especially if you've not really done this before but you really want to try it. So first off, I make a note of which side I'm going to be cutting from. So if you pretend that this is how it's going to sit on the wall, I'm going to have to cut a part of this section out for the window. So I know that there's an end bead here. This end is quite flat. So this is the side I want to lead from. You can lead from whatever side. I just so happened to start my room with the flat end because it was behind the door. And I also went upstairs and I took measurements of the window. I redid this one this morning because this is the specific measurements I need to cut. So I need to make sure that it's got a width of 41.4 centimetres and the depth is going to be 85.6, and that's for this board. I should be fitting 3 boards across. I think I'm going to have to go to the shop to get one more, but let's mark up and get it cut. I also always try to use my set square. That's going to give me a perfectly straight line from the edge across. I've run into a slight issue in the fact that the rooms in this house are just not very straight. Where I've started off with the beaded panelling in one corner of the room, come across, and then I'll try to fit this. In order to keep it level with what I've got there already, the skirting isn't going to fit underneath very well. So what I've decided to do is just keep the beaded panelling as it is, because I'm going to be putting a trim on top. It all needs to look level, whereas with the skirting, I can plane off a little bit of the base of the board and fit that underneath. Hi guys, it is what feels like day 276 of this bathroom makeover. It is coming along, but very, very slowly. We've run into multiple issues. So you will have seen that I was able to get some of the panels on the wall the other day. I have not been able to fit this one yet because I'm waiting on the tiler to finish down this side. So it's basically going to have some tile trim, and then the tiles are just going to finish off down there. When they're in place, I can then cut this panel. I am really glad as well that I did muster up the courage to ask our builder to just move that wall back instead of just leaving it, because I wouldn't have been able to do this and it would have thrown off the whole look and feel of what I wanted this room to look like. You see just how bad it is. So in this corner here, it's probably about 1 centimetre or 2 where it doesn't touch the ceiling, and then this side over here comes down like twice as much. And it looks so bad when you look at it like this. So I went on Google and I tried to figure out what we could do to fix it. Turns out not a lot. However, I tried not to panic. Instead, what I did was I brought some Coving into the room and I put it up in place yesterday, and I was having a little fiddle around with it. I think I should be able to manipulate it because it's relatively, like, you can kind of bend this Coving into shape if you need to relatively easily. I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to put Coving around. It's going to block the first row of tiles, which I know seems a waste, but it's going to then make it look seamless and like it's not wonky. Otherwise, if you just look at it like this, it just looks incredibly wonky. The other option is to have the ceiling dropped, so we would have to put more plasterboard in place and then have a skimmer come out and skim everything again. Going to be another huge expense, and it's going to just take so much more time. So I'm hoping actually that the Coving is going to work a treat. We have grout. It looks amazing. This is how it is looking. I'm so happy. Our builder has just filled the top where the ceiling isn't straight, just with some extra grout. We've also got the shower head fitted, and oh, I didn't even realise, but the handset is also fitted. The bathtub is in full use because he's had to wash off the hazy grout. So everything's working, nothing seems to be leaking, which is good. Now that this has been grouted, I can put on this final panel before the radiator goes on. And we've just decided we're actually going to go with a silver grey grout for the floor, because the tiles are like a white grey and then a dark grey black. And I have white or ivory. I think the ivory would look very similar to the kind of dust that's on the floor at the minute, which I think warms up a bit too much and it almost looks dirty already. And a white would be really hard to maintain and keep clean. I'd be cleaning it all the time and it would show the dirt a lot. Whereas a silver grey hopefully will look better, I think. So we are very, very close to the end. I feel it. I feel like today is going to be the last day that the builder comes and does anything, and it's going to be toilet, sink, shower screen, all accessories install. But before we get there, I do need to paint this panelling because he's going to be fitting everything to the walls. I don't want to have to then paint afterwards. It takes so much longer. I'm actually going to be painting this in Valspar's furniture paint in the colour Brown Bunny. Now this is what we used for our wardrobes and I love the colour. I think it has got a nice warmth to it, but it's not too undertone of like orangey brown, and I think it's going to match the wall tiles so well. them. This is Brown Bunny by Valspar. It's coming off way too warm. Never thought I'd say it, but I need a much more cool grey tone colour instead. So we're going to go with Gentle Lamb, which still has a very slight warmth to it, but I'm hoping when it's on the walls it's much lighter and it matches the tiles on the other side of the room much better because they're clashing at the minute. So yeah, let's paint it all again. It matches the tiles so much better than the darker colour, and it's lovely and bright in here now, whereas before with the darker colour it felt so dull, especially with the ceiling being really dim as well. I feel like I need to show you some stuff before we wrap this video up, but this is going to be our bath panel. So it's an MDF bath panel, but it's an adjustable one, so it doesn't matter how your bath goes in or how the tiles surround it, you can cut it because it's MDF, like from the sides inwards, and then you can use this bottom panel to adjust it because it just like screws in together. Also for our silicone around the bathroom, because our tiles are such a gorgeous creamy nude colour, I don't necessarily want to go in with white because I think that it'll just take away from the seamlessness of it. So we've actually got this Ardex antique ivory colour, which hopefully is going to match them really well. And this is going to be our bath screen, so just in case you're wondering if you see it and you like it, this is what that one is. We are on to the final parts of finishing off the bathroom. I have pre-cut the skirting and the trim for the top of the panelling, and I'm going to use some grab adhesive to stick that all in place along with some brad nails using my Works nail gun. And then we need to move on to the final project, which will take a little while, which is the coving. Okay, you guys, that is it. We have got everything in place. I'm about to show you what it now looks like, but can we just bear in mind that this took 4 months to transform? So, ready or not, this is the before, and here is the you guys' input, even if it's not really for you or if you absolutely love it. I always want to hear, so drop me a comment. The next set of videos, we are doing the bedroom makeover, so make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss the next one. It is going to be a very big transformation, so don't miss out. I've not had a bath for 2 years. 2 years. I'm going to make that up. I'm going to make that up, absolutely. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.